Ένα από τα μεγαλύτερα ζητήματα για τις επιχειρήσεις σε ολόκληρο τον κόσμο, συμπεριλαμβανομένης και της Ελλάδας, είναι η εξέβρεση του κατάλληλου ανθρώπινου δυναμικού. Μία λύση είναι η προσέλκυση ανθρώπινου δυναμικού από το εξωτερικό. Αλλά αυτό δεν είναι μία απλή διαδικασία, ειδικά σε τομείς όπου απαιτείται σημαντικός αριθμός επιπλέον εργαζομένων. Η απάντηση εκεί είναι μία εταιρεία όπως η Dynamic Staffing Services και έχουμε μαζί μας τον κύριο Varun Khosla, Managing Director της DSS, για να μας εξηγήσει πώς βοηθά ήδη πολλές ελληνικές επιχειρήσεις στο συγκεκριμένο τομέα. Mr. Khosla, thanks very much for being here with us. I hope I said the name right.
Kalimera, and thank you so much for having me here today.
Kalimera, is that the only Greek word you know? Or?
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. That would be really, really nice. So, let's start about what is DSS and what its core activities.
Yeah, so Dynamic Staffing Services is an international recruitment company that's been operating now for about 48 years. I'm 45, my father started it, so it's pretty much in my blood. And over the last 48 years, we've given jobs to about 500,000 people from Southeast Asia, across the Middle East and Europe. Today in Europe, we operate in 5 countries locally. And similarly in Greece, we've set up our operation with our team on ground. We focus on manual workers, technical workers, and we work within the construction, manufacturing, logistics, the shipping, basically any area where you require manual workers, that's a field for us.
To what extent do you believe that you can help Greek businesses and the Greek economy in general grow?
We firmly believe that we help companies grow. Abundance of skills allow companies to take on new projects. Lack of skills shrink companies' growth. Greece has gone through a really tough period, and now the economy is in a bit of a boom. So I feel, should do everything in our power to remove whatever there is that restricts the growth. Skill shortage cannot be something that restricts the growth of Greek companies. I'll give a couple of examples. We were dealing with a construction company who stopped bidding on new projects because they couldn't find, the technical people that they required. The excavators and the operators are not available. And when we met with them, we signed an agreement with them, and today they are not only bidding, but they are bidding aggressively. And I feel from what I've heard from them, their revenues are going to increase by 50 to 75% in a period of 2 years, just by taking on new projects. A friend of mine who runs a manufacturing facility, again, was very double-minded about adding a second facility. Machine operators, CNC operators, etc. are very difficult to find. We work closely with them. Their facilities are about to, they built the facilities, they're about to inaugurate the facilities, and all the required number of people for this facility are now in the process of coming here. So this company will also increase their revenue by about 30-odd%. So that's what we can do. By bringing in skills, we can add to the GDP of the Greek economy.
So you have a lot of companies that you work here in Greece, right?
Yeah, so we have about 100 clients.
100 clients?
And we have over about 1,000 people who are here or in process of coming here to add value in various jobs.
Okay, you said manufacturing, you're saying construction, shipping, logistics. Okay, I would like to ask another question about why do workers want to come here in Greece and work? Why will do that?
So basically, eventually, nobody wants to leave their home. So if I could work from my home, then I'd work from my home. But it's the pay gap parity. So let's look at a technical skill like a welder. A welder in India will make about 500-odd euros a month. Same welder here would make about 1,000 euros a month. So that in itself, if they're here for, let's say, 2 years or 4 years or 5 years, gives them enough extra savings to positively impact their lives and the lives of their family. So they come here for opportunity.
What type of skills do they have? Are they experienced enough?
So I can confidently say that almost all of the workers that we have brought here have minimum of 10 years of experience. 5 out of the 10 years would have been overseas experience. See, predominantly workers from Southeast Asia went to the Middle East to work. That's Saudi Arabia and Dubai, etc. And all of these places like the Burj Al Arab and and the Burj Khalifa, they're all made by Asian workers. Now those workers are the ones that we cherry pick and bring here for opportunities in Greece. So the ones that are coming here are up to date and state-of-the-art standards, safety standards. They're aware of the tools, equipments that are being used at a global scale.
Can you give us some examples of workers that you bring here in Greece?
Yeah, so different sectors require different skills. When we're looking at, let's say, the shipbuilding industry, there are the requirements for hydrojetters, spray painters, welders, and different types of welders. When we're looking at the hospitality sector, we have chefs, we have housekeeping, we have service, which are your waiters and bartenders, etc. When we look at construction, you have builders, carpenters, masons, steel fixers, various different operators, etc. When you look at logistics, it's warehouse workers, it's stock pickers, forklift operators, and then in general you have drivers and trailer operators, etc. So it's different for different industries.
Are your services accepted well in the Greek market, or is there a pushback or something?
So initially there's a little bit of anxiety, there's a little bit of concern that people are coming from Asia, from India, from Philippines. How will we manage? Will they adjust? Will they not? So we have to take that head on, and we appreciate that concern. So initially there was a bit of pushback, but now that more and more candidates are coming and adjusting, the pushback is definitely getting far less. I want to tell you how we overcame that pushback.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, so the first thing was, the first barrier we thought would be language. So all of the candidates that we bring here, we train them in up to A1 Greek language. So they are certified A1 Greek language speakers before they arrive. So we're talking 30 to 50 words. They can go to the supermarket and order some groceries or find their directions. It's important for the candidates who come here to integrate well. And when they integrate well, then they adjust and they can add value onto our clients. Post-arrival, then our clients were always concerned that how would we manage them, what about their accommodation and other things. So we took that upon ourselves. We have a company called Dynamic Living, where we provide accommodation for workers. And so if you look at it from recruitment to metaclacy to onboarding and further management is something our company does. So our clients really have very less anxieties and insecurities left in the process, because when the candidates are working, during the working hours, they're working with them, and when they're not working, we basically look after them.
I was going to ask about the accommodation of the workers and how you manage, but what you are saying, if I understand that correctly, is that you're doing a lot of stuff for the workers that you bring from Southeast Asia here in Greece, the living, and also provide them with other services as well, right? In order to make them be, in the environment, to integrate in the environment quickly. Am I right about that?
The candidates will integrate because they're learning the language, etc. But the accommodation we give as an added service to our client, so they don't have to worry about
anything. Yeah. What will you say is your competitive advantage? You mentioned a lot of stuff, but I will try to understand which one do you believe it's the more important, or perhaps all of them? I don't know.
So our competitive advantage is that we don't work with any intermediaries. We don't have any middlemen. So it is our company that's working with the client, and it is our company that's recruiting the candidates. Now that's actually very rare in international recruitment, because we'll have local companies who work with the clients and then they outsource the requirements to another company in India. So there is a bit of a gap. We work with our clients ourselves and our candidates ourselves, where we're able to take accountability from the start of the process until the end.
Oh, so you provide an end-to-end service. That's what you're saying, more or less.
Absolutely. And the second competitive advantage is the post-arrival support we provide. So we firmly believe that our services don't finish when we place candidates on their flight to Greece. They continue once the candidates arrive. So we become a part of our client's organization in inducting the new manpower, ensuring that the candidates who are here are adjusting properly and are actually being productive in their area of work. And whatever the little concerns that might come up, it becomes the responsibility of our team to manage that on behalf of the employee as well as the client.
You mentioned before, and that was really interesting, that usually companies here that don't have experience from workers from Southeast Asia, they have some concerns. Nowadays, After, having with a lot of clients, you mentioned 100 clients. What's the feeling that you have with your clients? Do you believe that they have passed their concerns? You've seen that?
Well, I mean, they have concerns, but our ability to overcome them is a lot easier. So, say if there's a construction company who's double-minded about taking workers from Asia, I would connect them to about 5 different companies to whom we've supplied people, and I will ask them to speak to them about their experience. And that then manages any and all of their concerns.
Can you share some names of companies, names of projects where your workers are working successfully?
Yeah, so we've, you'll see our workers in Athens International Airport. You'll see them at the tarmac. You'll see them in across the airport. Our workers are constructing the Crete International Airport as well. You'll see them all across Ellinikon working for projects such as the Riviera Tower. And you'll see them in manufacturing facilities in industrial areas as well.
So we'll see them a lot. That's
you'll
what
see
you're
them
saying.
a lot, yes.
Okay. All DSS operations fall under the auspices of the Metaklisi model framework, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say that in English, to be honest, but I think you understand what I'm saying. We're hearing that changes are coming. What are your thoughts about this?
So firstly, the Metaklisi process works. The model works, and nothing is perfect. I hear a lot of concerns about delays and other things related to the Metaklisi, but that's not only with Greece. That happens in all countries. What's really positive here is that thousands of people are coming to Greece, and they are making Greece their home for a period of 3 to 5 years while they work here. Now the enhancement of this Metaklisi, which is going to be the draft bill, which is in process now, we're very excited about it because it means one thing, that the Greek government appreciates the fact that foreigners can come in and add value. So they're paving the way, they're bettering a system that already exists. So we feel that there's going to be some stronger turnaround times for the work permit, for the visa stamping, and there's going to be more positive items being added onto this bill.
So you're a little bit optimistic about the project?
We are very optimistic about it because the fact that they're discussing it means that it's important.
Yeah, it is important because from my personal view, I've seen a lot of projects that they lack people with skills in order to be completed. So in that case, DSS can help these projects come through. You often mention that everything you do is done ethically.
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean by that? Because there's a lot of talk about these things.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've built our brand on being an ethical recruitment services provider. And the first step to do that is to deal with the candidates directly. Because there's nobody between us and the candidate, there's no possibility of the candidate being charged or being exploited. What happens generally is that the recruitment orders are passed on to third-party companies, unknown middlemen companies, who then are tasked with identifying these workers. And when they do that, they start charging the workers money in order to come to Greece or any other country to work. We overcome that because they're only dealing with us. They're not dealing with anybody in the middle. And what that does for us is our reputation in the market over the last 48 years has been built because we really make sure that our workers are mobilized in a very ethical manner, where human trafficking and exploitation is something that cannot happen with dynamic staffing services.
That's really nice. So you mentioned before your competitive advantage is that you don't have intermediaries. That goes all the way, right?
All the way.
What are the trends that you are seeing in this market? What do you believe we're going to see the next coming years?
Well, I think that we'll see more and more companies be open-minded towards taking people from outside of Europe. The problem is, and one of the points I wanted to make was, we're not here to take any Greek jobs. The situation is such with the demographics, with the declining population, that there are a lot of technical works that the locals don't want to do. And in order for those works to be done, we bring in the best in-class candidates to be able to take on those roles. So it's important to understand that in our services,
I think a lot of people have understand that
Yeah.
because we've seen that there are a lot of technical roles that they're not matched by the people here in Greece. Perhaps they don't want to do this kind of job, and we need people from outside Greece, Europe, whatever, to come here and provide this kind of services.
Yeah.
So I'm so
And the trend that I foresee is going to be acceptability. It's going to be more and more companies trying out metaclacy, trying out candidates. And it's really, once you try it, you understand that it's not that complicated. It's not that difficult. Candidates are coming who want to work and earn money, and with that, the employers can grow their business. So it's really a win-win situation. And when you see more and more people working, you'll see that others who are not trying the metaclacy model will then look towards trying the metaclacy model. So just from last year to this year, the number of inbound inquiries that we have, or the number of clients that we have, has grown dramatically.
okay. So we're going to see more people coming, right?
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
What are the next steps for DSS here in Greece?
Yeah, so we need to grow our operation here. Currently, we're here in Athens. We plan to expand to Thessaloniki in the next 3 months. We plan to open our office in Crete by the end of the year. And the idea behind this is simple. We don't want to deal with all of our clients across Greece from Athens. We want to be local to their area, to be able to work with them closely on a face-to-face basis. And then in addition to that, we're working very closely with the Indian Embassy, with the Greek government, to try and bring in certain programs which allow for recognition of prior learning of candidates from India or Philippines. Let's say an electrician who's done a diploma back home, when they come to Greece, they cannot work as an electrician. So some work is required in accepting their prior learning.
Their credentials or certifications. Yeah.
Absolutely. Similarly with drivers and operators. So this is our work in motion, where we work closely with various government bodies, and slowly we will overcome these barriers.
I'm sure that you're going to do. It's very interesting, all that you said, and I think it's a subject that we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the near future. Thanks very much for coming to our studio.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure.
Και ευχαριστούμε και όλους εσάς που μας παρακολουθήσατε.